I want to show you the very first Watcher website that David Flynn did along with his wife and myself. The Wayback Machine has it recorded in July 27th, 1997. I kind of remember this being the front page. I think it was out a little bit earlier, but the Wayback Machine wasn't. Might be wrong on that. But the discussion here is basically the end time deception. And this came out of many, many nights of talking over the years between Dave, myself, Brenda, over scotch. What would the end time deception be? So our discussions were about 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, where Paul is talking about specifically the delusion. Chapter 2, verse 11. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. So what is that delusion? That's the question. And the Watcher website starts answering that question on the first page. And Dave coined the angelic conspiracy, because that goes into what's going on with the UFO phenomena that's been a part of history. And of course, today is a part of daily news, despite what some people might say. There's a page that was on the later version of the Watcher website called Name That Messiah. And I think Brenda put this together. She laid out a long list here, starting with the Christian Messiah, the real one. You have the Islamic, Aztec, return of Quetzalcoatl, the Sioux, Indonesian, Hopi, Buddhist, Mahayana, the Japanese Messiah, New Zealand, the Jewish Messiah. Specifically, she's referring to the one that they'll accept when he comes, parentheses, Hindu, Shia Messiah, the 12th Imam, the Sufi, Zoroastrian, the Eskimo. There's a common thread running through some of these, like here with the Mayan Messiah, the Aztec Messiah. He's olive-skinned and has a white beard and followers in red, or he has a red cloak, or wears a red hat. One of the first things that we did, we made a flyer way back in 95. So we had been talking about this, according to Brenda, since 1994. The Watcher website, I think, was out around that same time, according to her. This flyer, I think it was 4 pages, addresses that. It's that question is, what is the coming deception? And so the logic behind it is, the reasoning behind it is, what one human being, what one human figure could every religion, every culture, what type of human being would fit that mold? The conclusion was that he would only have to appear human. The setup of him coming down, or someone coming down from the sky with magic powers, great powers, or lying wonders would fit the bill. If you could sort of envision a scenario like the 80s series called V, where one day there was an alien manifestation, all the great ships over every city of the earth. There'd be a figure that would be their spokesman, but he wouldn't look alien, he'd look human. That would be a perfect setup for a great delusion. And so that's what the subject of this flyer was. We also had let's see, a forum. I was running it in my basement on a server underneath the stairs with, I don't think, any security at all. Didn't matter though. I had it backed up whenever it get hacked. I think it got hacked a couple times. I'm sure there's a lot of people out here that are listening to me that actually were on here. It was great. It was a great time because the internet was not censored in any way. Really, you could go on a search engine and find things. You can't, of course, find anything now. It's completely blacked out. It's just a loop of propaganda. It's kind of irritating. But Dave is Newton 2012. I have all this stuff stored up. So the next thing I wanted to bring up is Dave's book. So, okay, let's see. First book Dave wrote was Cydonia, The Secret Chronicles of Mars. And this was a brain dump that Dave did. Being Dave, he'd start working on something and he'd do it and forget to eat and sleep. He'd go at it, at all hours of the day. He finally ended up with a big manuscript of 8 by 11 type papers in a box, I think, and he just set it aside, and Brenda got a hold of it. She sent it to Richard Hoagland, of all people. I'm not really sure how that got set up. She said that Dave wasn't going to do anything with it, unbelievably. Let's see if I can... okay. Ah, here it is. Here's a book. Hoagland saw it, and he absolutely loved it. It kind of blew his mind. I don't know if you know who Richard Hoagland was. I don't know if he's still alive. I hope he is. He was a agnostic who talked a lot about the features that were being found on Mars, the face on Mars. He was the face on Mars guy, and he comes from the idea that the humanity first was on Mars before there was some type of cataclysm, and then they came to Earth and they have forgotten their history. But he used to always say that we are the Martians. So he loved Dave's book in that respect. So he got out of Dave's book what he wanted to get out of it, and there was quite a lot in it for him. Right now, I wanted to bring this page up because, of course, it's out of print. That's another story. Steve Quayle called Dave out of the blue one day. Not really sure if Steve had ever talked to Dave before, and said, God told me to publish your book, which was quite strange because Dave, neither Dave or Brenda told Steve that he was writing a book. And so this is the book. I don't know who did this cover, but I can't believe that someone is actually going to try to sell it for $5,000. There's another compilation of work here. I think it's called the David Flynn Collection, which sadly is also out of print. This was done after Dave passed away in 2012, January. So getting back to the timeline. So Dave's book came out in 2002, January, I believe. Yeah, January 2002. Later that year in August, I think it was August 14th, there was an occurrence outside of Winchester. Let's see here if I can bring up Google Earth. I just have it marked here. This is very interesting. So this is the area that the crabwood crop circle was found. If you go down really close, you can see faintly here that there's some high voltage wires going across just about the center of the field here. You can see one of the high towers here. There is also a radio transmitter tower here. It radiates a lot of power. You can go back, I believe. Let's see what it has in 99. Okay, it is. So yeah, the tower is still there in 99, and the crabwood crop circle occurred in 2002. This is an image of it. And Dave pointed it out to me one day at work, and the reason I thought that was strange is I had a company that while I was working on my graduate degree, and I wrote software, I did various things. I made a logo for it that looked very suspiciously like the crop circle. And I actually didn't make that connection. Dave made that connection before he called me. Here is one of the best overhead videos that I found on YouTube of it. They're not really easy to find. If you type in crabwood glyph, you get really poor quality video. Let me play this a bit.
Well, I know that there's a real phenomenon out there, besides all the crab of hoax stuff going around. And this is the interesting thing why I'm coming here.
So, you get an idea of how it was situated in the field. It is absolutely huge. Let's see here if I go back to Google Earth and orient this in the same matter of the video. So it's right about here. Let's go back to, so before the field was partitioned, according to whatever the farmer was doing at the time, it would have been right about here. And you'll notice that that's almost directly under the high voltage lines. Go back to the video if I can. There's the tower. So you get a good idea of the size of it here. I don't think I have any of the images of people walking around inside of it, but this occurred. There were those who said that, well, this is obvious fake because it has a cartoon in it of an alien. At first, no one knew what this disc contained. You'll notice also these three dots, which are kind of disc shaped. They're beam ships. Again, it's interesting. You can see his fingers here. His fingers actually overlap in this picture. I think I drew this with a mouse, printed it out, and then I filled it with a magic marker. And then scanned it again. I mean, that was the extent of my art skills back then. But it worked. I made a GIF out of it, which I used a lot. I don't know if you can see that. I replaced the CPU inside a circle with tetrahedron, another subject that Richard Holden liked a lot. Tetrahedral geometry, and he talked about the type of tetrahedral geometry that he'd see on Mars, that features there in Cydonia. If you want to see a really good presentation of all the specifics of the crop circle and its history, I have Dave's lecture at Roswell that he did. His presentation here goes over absolutely everything in a very concise fashion. He believed that the intelligence behind it was sending him a message specifically. So, backtracking a little bit, the reason that I made this image was it was inspired by Philip Corso's book, I think, The Day After Roswell, part of our discussions, where we'd say that, where he was saying that the technology that was recovered at the Roswell crash was farmed out to private industry. So that's why I drew this. And going on a little bit further, at the time that this came out, I was working at a national laboratory since I had a degree in computer science. It kind of was a message for both of us. We both agreed. This turned out to be ASCII text. Another reason why I think it was meant to be a message for me and Dave, I'd created this program that encrypts text. In the background, I had if you can see it, I had Mars. You can see that faint outline there. You can see in front of it a beam ship. Again, it's subtle. The dialog box that comes up here to set your mail attributes has this negative image of this gray alien that came out of the Art Bell talk show. It was, I think it was named Andy. It was Whitley Strieber, I believe. I'm not really sure who took the picture, but that was, as far as Art Bell was concerned, a bona fide image of a gray, and I just inverted the color and put it in my program. Strange coincidences of which I don't believe are possible. There's no such thing. This is off the Watcher site, the latest iteration of it. I think this is 2019 version. Yeah, just after the crop circle came out, a guy named Goro Adachi contacted Dave. He wanted to know about the alien image. I think he went to the website and saw it. He wanted to know where that came from. He was convinced also that this crop circles was made because of, actually inspired by an image on the Watcher website. So he wrote this. I think this is still out in the, so here's his association here. He was kind of freaked out about the word Ultratech, which is the name of the company that I had. He made an association here. He had one of his friends do some type of analysis of it and came up with a numeric code 1357, which he then, of course, associated it to something sort of random. So a quatrain by Nostradamus, he kind of goes that way. And somehow got to the Shroud of Turin. But the image that I had on my company website promoting the software actually had information about the Shroud of Turin as an example of encryption on it, which kind of blew his mind. He also found that the little Andy alien holding the rotating tetrahedron here. And so he wrote a lot more about it. I made my own sort of quick and easy program here, showing all the ASCII text that was laid out here, zeros and ones, spiraling towards the center, at least spiraling from the center towards the outside. And if you do that and you count them all up, you get these all in sequence. And so I listed the whole thing out. And the message was, beware the bearers of false gifts and their broken promises. Much pain, but still time. Some people say that there was an error or it was trampled down this bit not really sure what it was, but some people say it was believe. There is good out there. We oppose deception. Conduit closing, and that backslash is also ASCII for a bell sound. A strange message. The reason I started thinking about all of this was because of a video I saw, and of course the drone thing just screams deception. I mean, but is it a part of the great deception? Well, personally, I just think, yeah, there's been, I call them beam ships or sun ships or orbs, sightings for hundreds of years. But the thing that I see in a lot of the video that's going out now is a mixture. I'll see some type of orb doing what orbs do, merging, diverging, moving erratically, disappearing, appearing, becoming very bright, that type of thing. And then also seeing the strange drones. And the drones flying around seem to me, obviously, since they're flying in the early evening, just after it gets dark, they want to be seen. It's a campaign to be seen as much as possible. And the fact that the federal government or local governments are saying they have no idea, the military has no idea what they are, is by design. It needs, it's for obfuscation, it's for confusion. If there was an uptick, a purposeful uptick in, let's say, sunship manifestation, then the black projects, the people that are in control of the back engineer technology that they've gathered over the last 80 years or so, and they don't want the public to, as quickly as these entities would like, to come to the realization that they really truly are here, since there's been this great sort of pressure and this pressure to divulge this type of information. For me, for a lot of the people in the type of community that I've been a part of, the Christian research community, this is, I mean, their existence is not surprising. I have my opinions about what they are, and I won't go into that right now, but I think it's a combination of things. Of course, it's also misidentification of true aircraft, and then people adding their own drones if they can. But there's also the possibility that these beam ships, these orbs, have the ability to transform themselves into a drone-like sort of image as well. One of the hallmarks I think of the way the drones are acting is the markings on them, the green and red marker for port, starboard, in the wrong place sometimes, flashing green lights instead of flashing red for the underside markings, strange yellow lights flashing. Maybe the flash is inconsistent, not repetitive. And then it will get really bright and then it will go away. And sometimes they seem to morph while they're flying. I've seen some of that too. I did see a really, really excellent video of something that reminded me specifically of these three beam ships here. See if I can find that. That looks very beam ship-like to me. This person was a cell phone. So, you know, if a jetliner is on a flight path and they're landing lights on. They have to be facing you to show up. And those don't look like they're on the same flight path to me. And they have the ability here at dusk to just fade out completely or become extremely bright. You see how they're fading out. Ah, he's back. So I think the phenomenon everyone's seeing now is an uptick in this type of manifestation, and I think it's being done now because there's a timeline they got to stick to, and the people in control of the black projects that are going on, or like black projects that have been going on for some time, want to obfuscate this as much as possible. And so they have the drone campaign going on right now. And you can see this. The guy's name is, at least on YouTube, Easily Amused E. E. So let's see. Should end this up. You can't get this book really other than going to Steve Quayle's website. He has Cydonia Tribute Edition. I think he put out in 2014. It doesn't have any of the illustrations, but you can buy it from his site.